Hey guys, it's Chris with the Leadership Mindset with Chris Logston, where we believe that leadership doesn't begin with a title, a position, or a platform. It begins with this idea of growth, of personal growth, personal development. And so, welcome today. This is going to be a quick podcast, quick episode, as I'm still building out my podcast studio, still getting things set up, figuring out how I want to set everything up, what all I want to do. And so I've kind of got a makeshift studio set up right now, but I've got some things wrote down here that I wanted to talk about, and that leadership begins with growth. And that's the philosophy behind everything that we do here at the Leadership Mindset. And it's this philosophy that grow today, lead tomorrow. Grow today, lead tomorrow. Because the person you become tomorrow is shaped by the decisions that you make today. The person that you become tomorrow is shaped by the decisions that you make today. The growth that you have today shapes who you become tomorrow. And so today I want to challenge you with this question. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for before you finally start working on yourself? Before you finally start and say, "Hey, you know what? This is about me. I'm going to take time to invest in myself. I'm going to take time to grow, to develop myself so that I can become a better father, a better husband, a better person, a better employee, a better employer." What are you waiting for before you take the next step? What is the next step for you? For all of us, it may be different. That next step is going to be something that's different. That my next step is going to be different from your next step. It's going to be different from the next person's next step. What are you waiting for before you become more disciplined, more focused, more intentional about things, more committed in your life? Are you waiting until life gets easier? Because if you are, I got some bad news for you, that life is probably not going to get any easier. The Bible doesn't promise us an easy life, but it promises us a sustained life, a fulfilled life. And that sustainment, that fulfillment comes through a relationship with Jesus Christ. Are you waiting until you have more time? That's a big one. But the interesting thing about time is that once it's gone, we can't get it back. Once it's gone, we can't get it back. We're not able to make more time. We can make more money. We can buy a new car. We can get new things, but time is the one thing that once it's gone forever. Are you waiting until you have more money? Good luck with that one. Are you waiting until you feel more confident in your skills, more confident in your abilities, more confident in just yourself? Are you waiting until someone believes in you? You see, the only person that matters as far as believing in you is yourself. It doesn't matter what everybody else in the world thinks about you. It matters what you believe about yourself. Are you waiting until the fear goes away? That's a big one. Here's the truth, though. You may be waiting for a moment that is never going to come. You may be waiting for that right moment that's never going to come, that you're just standing there waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And before you know it, your life has come to an end and that opportunity never came. Life's not going to slow down, and it's not going to hand you that perfect opportunity to begin to grow and to develop yourself. Your schedule is not going to drastically and miraculously become empty. Your doubts are not going to magically vanish. At some point, you have to stop waiting for the right moment and decide that right now, this moment, this instant, this is enough. This is it. This is when I'm going to make a decision. See, you don't need a new year. You don't need a new month. We have this thing in January called New Year's resolutions, and we wait to start these good things until New Year's, and we say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this year." And if you're like most people, about week 2 or week 3 in January, those resolutions are gone out the window. What you need is a decision. You need a decision that says, "I refuse to remain the same. I refuse to remain where I'm at today. I refuse to be in the same spot tomorrow where I am today. I refuse to be in the same spot next week where I am today. I refuse to be in the same spot next month where I am today." Personal growth doesn't happen accidentally. You see, a good friend of mine always says that growth happens in inches. And if you think about that, and there's so much truth to that, and everything that grows in inches, from a baby to a plant. It grows in inches, and you may not see that growth day by day, but over time you can see that baby grow from a newborn baby to toddler, and you can see that plant, that you plant that seed, and you watch over time, and it sprouts through the ground, and it grows into something beautiful. See, nobody wakes up in the morning and discovers that they're more disciplined. Nobody becomes a stronger leader simply by getting older. Nobody develops a emotional maturity just because time has passed. Time doesn't automatically make you better. It's intentional growth, intentionality, that being intentional. If you practice avoid having difficult conversations, you become better at running from discomfort. If you practice quitting every time life becomes difficult, quitting becomes your automatic response. See, the opposite is also true. If you practice discipline, you become disciplined. If you practice courage, you become courageous. If you practice consistency, you become dependable. If you practice learning and reflecting and responsibility, you begin to develop the mindset of a leader. You're always becoming something. Are you becoming something that tomorrow you can be proud of, or are you becoming something that tomorrow you may be ashamed of? Your life will eventually reflect your repeated decisions, not your intentions, not your goals. It'll be those repeated decisions that reflect what your life becomes, not what you said you were going to do. It will reflect what you repeatedly choose to do. See, we love this idea and talking about what we want. All of our wants that we have. We want a stronger marriage. We want a bigger bank account. We want a healthier body. We want a more successful business. We want greater influence, a deeper faith, financial stability. We want to become better parents. We want to become better spouses. But wanting something is not the same as building something. Desire may give you the direction, but discipline is what's going to move you forward. You can't keep asking for a different life and repeating the same thing and same habits that you've created. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. And you're insane if you think that doing the same thing I'm doing now is going to get me to somewhere better, somewhere different tomorrow. At some point, something in your life has to change to grow today, to be able to lead tomorrow. Something today has to change. And maybe it's your schedule, maybe your priorities, maybe your circle that you have is of friends, of people has got to change. Maybe it's your attitude. Maybe your attitude needs to change. Maybe it's the way you talk to yourself, talk about yourself. Maybe you need to stop blaming everyone and everything around you for where you're at today and start taking that responsibility. That doesn't mean that everything that happened is your fault. It doesn't mean that there are things that happened to you that you had no control over. There are things that you didn't choose. There are things that you didn't create. There are wounds that you didn't deserve. There are setbacks that are completely outside of your control. But even when you can't control what happened, you still have the responsibility to decide what it is that happens next. You can't always choose the hand that you were dealt, but you can choose how you play it. You can't always choose the hand that you're dealt, but you can always choose how you play that hand that you were dealt. You can choose whether pain becomes your prison or your classroom, whether failure becomes your identity or your instructor, whether rejection makes you bitter or makes you better. Your past may explain you, but it doesn't have to define you. Your past may explain you, but it doesn't have to define you. Growth is refusing to allow the past to control your future. You can't change what happened yesterday. You can't change what happened last week. You can't change what happened last year, but you can make a different decision today. Right now, you can make a different decision today. Reading 10 pages may feel insignificant. Taking a 20-minute walk may feel insignificant. Turning off your phone and spending time with your family may feel insignificant. Writing down your goals may feel insignificant. Having a difficult conversation that you've been avoiding may feel insignificant. But growth is usually hidden inside those small decisions that are repeated long enough to produce visible results. We often underestimate those small actions because they don't create this immediate transformation. They don't create this immediate change that we can see because growth happens in inches. If you're like me and most people I know that I visit with, we want this dramatic change. We want this breakthrough. We want the before and after moment to happen right now. We want to be and have that overnight success story. But most growth doesn't happen overnight. Most meaningful growth doesn't happen overnight. It happens quietly. It happens when nobody's watching. It happens when you keep showing up even though you're not seeing the results yet. I think about when I used to go to the gym, and I'd go to the gym and I'd work out and I'd come home and I wouldn't see any results of working out at the gym that day. So I would go back the next day and I didn't see any results. And pretty quickly I got discouraged and I quit going because I wasn't seeing the results. But you see that the results of in the gym come from a long-term commitment. You're not going to see those results overnight. If your growth depends on how you feel, then you'll always be inconsistent because feelings change. Don't wait until your life is falling apart to decide what your priorities should be. Make those decisions right now, today, right now. Decide now that you're going to keep your word, that you're going to finish what you start. You're going to take responsibility for your actions. You're going to be teachable, coachable. You're going to keep growing even when growth is uncomfortable. But you have to stop letting an old version of yourself negotiate with the person you're trying to become. The old you may have quit, the old you may have procrastinated, the old you may have avoided responsibility, but you don't owe your old habits continued loyalty. You don't owe your old habits continued loyalty. You see, you're allowed to grow. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to become more focused. You're allowed to set boundaries. You're allowed to outgrow environments that and behaviors and mindsets that have kept you stuck. Some people won't understand this growth and and you may lose friends because of it, and that's all right because they were comfortable with your limitations. They liked the old version of you who always said yes, version of you who never challenged anything that anybody said, the version of you who made them feel comfortable because they were afraid to step into your potential. So today I want to encourage you, where are you at in your growth? Where are you at with your development, with your personal development? What is one action that you can take today it's going to move you in the right direction? What is the one action that you can take today that's going to move you in the right direction? Maybe it's a phone call, opening a book, taking a walk, scheduling a meeting with that person you've been avoiding, having a conversation, removing a distraction, setting an alarm, whatever it is, take that step because every great change starts with a decision that says, I will not stay here. I will not be tomorrow where I'm at today. I will not be next week where I'm at today. I will not be next month, next year, 5 years, 10 years where I'm at today. So what is it that you need to do to start becoming a better you? What decisions do you need to make? What things do you need to get rid of in your life? The future you is counting on the decisions that you make today. Don't let that person down. Grow today, lead tomorrow. Because if you're not growing, you're not leading. This has been the Leadership Mindset with Chris Logston.